In this question, we are given the jeepney fare as 8 peso for the first 4 kilometer plus 1 peso for every succeeding kilometer. And we will now answer these questions in each part, that is from part A to part D. So let's first answer the part A, which asked us to determine the rate function where R is the rate and K is a kilometer. So we can write down this as a function of K, that is R of K is basically the represent the charge for k kilometers travel. So this can be written as a piecewise function because we have two parts. The first part, that is for the first 4 kilometer, it is charged as 8 peso. So you can simply write down this as 8 with domain restriction as k greater than 0 and less than 4 or equal to 4. That is if we have traveled anywhere between 0 to 4, that is from 0 to 4 kilometers, it is charged as 8 peso. And in the second part, for every succeeding kilometer, it is charged 1 peso in addition to the 8 peso which is charged for first 4 kilometers. So we have to include this 8 peso in addition to this. This is the charge, and we have to calculate the number of kilometers after 4 kilometers. So this can be written as k minus 4. And here also we have the domain restriction, that is this is true for k greater than 4. Notice that this can be simplified as 8 plus 1 times of k minus 4 is k minus 4. So this is simply equal to k plus 4. So I can completely write down this as just k minus 4. So let me write down this simply as k plus 4. It is k plus 4. So this is the rate function, which means we answered the first part. Let me shrink this and put it over here. Now let's do the second part, which asks us to determine the inverse of this function. So we have this r of k function. Let's write down the inverse function. This is represented as r inverse of k. Now considering the first part, we have k greater than 0 and less than or equal to 4, and it is charged as 8. So when you take the inverse, we can write down this as r inverse of k greater than 0, less than or equal to 4, and with restriction k equal to 8. This is when k equal to 8. Uh, Notice that here the k represent the charges, okay, and the r inverse of k gives the kilometers that are traveled. So it says that the minimum charge is 8 kilometers, for which you could travel anywhere between 0 to 4 kilometers. Okay. Now considering this second part, we can write down this first inverse as r inverse of r inverse of k, which in fact I can write down this as r of k or k minus 4. This k minus 4. This is for k greater than 8. So this is the inverse function. Notice that k here represents the charges, and r inverse of k gives the kilometer or the distance traveled. So this is the inverse function. Let me shrink this and put it over here. Having found the inverse, the direct function as well as the inverse function, we can calculate the part C as well as part D. So let's calculate the part C. This basically asks us to determine the charges when the distance traveled is 13 kilometer. So for that we have to utilize this function r of k. So I'm going to use this r of k And since the distance traveled is 13 kilometer, we have to use this piece, that is when k is greater than 4, which means we have to use this part, that is k plus 4. So here k equal to 13, so this will be 13 plus 4 equal to 17. So therefore the travel charges is uh, 17 peso. So this is the answer for part C. Now let's do the part D. Here it asks us to calculate the distance between Danao city and Cebu city if the fare is 52. So we have to utilize this inverse function. Notice that we have been given the fare as 52. So as we have understood that k here represents the fare, so we have to use this piece, that is k is greater than 8 because 52 is greater than 8. So we have to use this piece, which means this r inverse of k, which represents the kilometers traveled. This is equal to k minus 4. The value of k equal to 52. So it's going to be 52 minus 4, which is equal to 48. So this means 48 kilometers. The distance between this Danao city and Cebu city is 48 kilometers. So we have answered the part D.